Man, I gotta tell y'all, I feel so blessed and so fortunate to be where I am today. 160 years ago, the ground I'm walking across was full of tents and campfires and soldiers. Famed Virginia historian Douglas Freeman wrote about visiting this camp in the early 1900s, and he said that you could still see detritus and trash and discarded military equipment that the soldiers had left behind. I've been hunting this camp for a very long time, and today I have just a few hours, and we're headed for this little gully right here. I haven't spent nearly as much time on this part of the farm as I have on other parts of the farm, but I was here last summer, but it's just so thick in these woods right behind me, and I'm hoping that today that some of that undergrowth has died down. So, with high hopes and optimism, let's relic hunt. This is the first hole of the day, first signal of the day, and it sounds like a mixture of iron and non-ferrous metal, but it appears deep. I could be off a little bit because I'm using the big head on the dais to get deep. It is a good head for getting deep, but it also does not identify targets as well as a smaller head. Let's check it out. It does seem to be deep unless I've missed it. All right, let's see. Well, this got me very excited. I'm getting a big signal down deep. What do you reckon that could be? We're definitely plenty deep, that's for sure. All right, there it is. Big old piece of iron. Now, is it good iron or is it cruddy iron? Oh, look. That's a tooth off of a piece of farm equipment. You win some and you lose some. Look how deep that was. That's 18 inches deep. Well, what a shame. Okay, so I dug that big old farm machinery tooth right there, and I've got a good bullet sounding signal there. Of course, my gut says it's more trash, don't dig it. But the signal looks good, and good stuff is often mixed with trashy stuff, so we're going to check it out here. Well, the good news is it's not as deep as that other thing. At least we won't be digging to China to find it. Pointer says she's right there. Shotgun shell. Okay, I'm on to another deep one here. Pin pointer's about 7 inches long. Maybe this land hadn't been monkeyed with too much, because look at the trees around me. That monster, and that monster. So maybe we're in an area where not a whole lot of dirt has been pushed around. How about we see no rust? All right, we're getting close to her. There's the surface of the ground. And then a whole nother pinpointer, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 inches. Oh, I just hit it, I'm sure. Rust! Oh, shoot. Sure was deep, though. Figure out what this beast is. Oh, golly. A horseshoe that deep. I'm still in the thick of this stuff, and I got a signal here. Well, this ain't gonna be it, it's shallow. Got a buck there. That looks too small to be a standard buck from a bucking ball, so that may be modern. Well, I finally hear something that sounds like a bullet right there. Alright, says it's right there. Alright, what is that? Small caliber round ball, maybe? Yeah, a little small caliber round ball, I think. Let's see if we took it out of there. Yep, we did. Oh, another one of those little small round balls. This is an early war site here at Gaines Mill. And so that's another ball that matches the other one I found. That's probably about a 44 caliber, something like that. So it could be a pistol ball, it could be somebody's hunting rifle that a Confederate brought to the war, or it could be just a farmer hunting down here. Shotgun shell. Today has made me remember why I don't hunt this part of the farm very often. Lots of shotgun shells, horseshoes, etc. Nope. Another shotgun shell. This has been a shotgun shell and horseshoe day. Well, I haven't taken but a few steps from that last shotgun shell. But dare I say it, this does sound like a Civil War bullet. Okay, at least it's not shallow. The bullet, finally! Wow. I've been out here probably 2 hours. It's still profound to hold these in your hand. You know, knowing that the last guy that held it was just trying to stay alive as long as he could. All right, this one for sure is iron. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I always check root balls and underneath root balls when trees blow over. This one blew over a very long time ago. But still, my signal's right in the bottom of that root hole. So even though it's iron, it's been down there a very long time. And it's definitely was very deep, because it's 2 feet down from where the ground would have been before the tree blew over. Looks like a little bolt of some kind. I'm not sure what that might be, but we'll clean it up when we get home. Alright, this may be one of those signals that bad dreams are made of. It's right by that big root. Alright, see if it's still in there. It was easy digging beside the root. Yeah, a little buckshot. I don't talk about numbers very often. I depend on sound more than I do numbers. My smaller dais heads seems to be more sensitive to discrimination. This big head will fool you. Let me let you hear. I've heard better. Uh-oh. Feels like big root there. Oh yeah, he's a big one. Oh yeah, everywhere. Alright, what is that? Modern bullet? Yeah, it looks like a modern bullet. So that's why it fooled me. Taking a risk here, but I think that's a period target. whether it's a bullet or a piece of melted lead or some brass. I think that's a period target. I don't know why, it just sounds right. Let's see if she's still in there. Yep. All right, good depth. It's down in the bottom of the hole. Something about that just sounds like a bullet to me. Right there. Look like a bullet to you? Looks like lead to me. All right, come on out of there. There he is. All right, there's another 3-ring Union bullet. I believe that's fired. Unusual to find. Well, yeah, I feel like I see ramrod marks on that. So anyway, Union 3-ring bullet. I told you that I always hunt old root balls where a tree has fallen. And here's one, and I mean this tree has been down for a whole lot of years, decades. And yet there's a really good sounding signal right there. I've actually got 2 signals here, but I'm going to dig the one that sounds the best first. I mean, it sounds like a shallow bullet is what it sounds like. I believe it's a bullet. It is a bullet. Look at that. Real pretty dropped 3-ringer. Loud as can be, and nobody heard it before me. That surprises me. All right, let's see if the other signal is still there, or was it a reflection of the first one? That signal doesn't sound as good. It sounds iron. That sounds like for sure iron. All right, I scraped it, whatever it is. Horseshoe? Yeah. Worn completely out and twisted. Look at that. There's a horseshoe just as thin as paper on the top. Oh boy, you got roots. Of course, you got roots everywhere down here, but you got a big one here. Uh-oh. What in the world? It was there a minute ago. I promise. All right, I must have flicked it out of the hole and flicked it a long way. I don't know how I flicked it this far. Yep. Shotgun shell. Shotgun shell. Running out of daylight. And I'm tired. I think I'll call it a day. I think we ended up with 3 bullets, 2 musket balls, and a bunch of horseshoes and junk like that. So it's worth coming back, trying it again. And when you think about what happened here, quite amazing, humbling. I'm glad you got to go along with me on this short little Cold Harbor Civil War relic hunt. If you're familiar with this channel, you know that at the end of my videos, I always try to provide a little something extra. It may be a look back at a great relic found years ago, or just a relic hunting story that means something to me. This one is very personal. The farm that I was hunting at today, a Union campsite farm, has produced lots of great relics over the years. I used to say that that farm produced more buttons than it did bullets. But in addition to that, I found several other things that are a part of Civil War camp life. A few years ago, I found this. If you've ever seen one of these, you know exactly what it is, even though there's not a whole lot of this one left. This is a Civil War era curry comb.
a metallic comb used to brush horses down. And this particular style is very typical of the Union issued curry combs. I was deep in the woods at the farm that I hunted today, and I dug this one out about 15 feet above a creek bank. Again, if you know the channel, you know that my grandfather ran a horse farm in Cold Harbor. In fact, it was called the Battlefield Park Riding Academy. Before my family sold the farm, my dad went through the barn and picked up a few things, mementos of his childhood and the years there on the farm. He picked up 2 horse bits that burn up in the barn fire. One of them was my grandfather's personal bit that he used. It's solid brass. But one of the things he picked up was a curry comb. When my father died in 2012, I found the box of things that came out of my grandfather's farm, and of course I wanted to keep them. It was years later when I was taking a close look at this curry comb. I believe this curry comb that was in my grandfather's barn is indeed a Civil War era curry comb. Now, where did he get it? Did he buy it as surplus long after the war? Of course, the horse farm was right there in Cold Harbor. And so it's not crazy to think that after the battle, somebody walked through the battlefield, saw this curry comb and said, hey, we can use this on the farm. The combs are made exactly the same, but I just get a kick out of holding this in my hand. Number one, I know this was held by my grandfather, who was born in 1890, but I just also think it's crazy that my daughters and I used this curry comb on our horses when my daughters were teenagers. There's certainly more stories like that that come when you are raised, as I was, smack dab in the middle of one of the greatest battlefields of the Civil War, Gaines Mill and Cold Harbor. I consider myself lucky to have heard those stories and experienced some of them myself. If you like what you've seen today, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope that 2024 started out good for you. And I hope you'll spend some more time with me on Virginia's Civil War battlefields in 2024. I'm the Battlefield Walker. Be good and say your prayers.